the discovery of the crashed UFO was, in the eyes of the military leaders, too sensitive to become public. These documents prove that they were afraid that people would panic, fearing an extraterrestrial invasion. And also they hoped that they could benefit from the newly retrieved highly advanced technology in the arms race of the Cold War.
I believe that when they say that the secrecy is necessary because it's a national security problem, I think they really believe that. And I think that it comes out of the thinking behind the war gaming with computers after World War II. We learned to fight computer wars. And in the process, we discovered that there are rules. There are certain things that you cannot do without throwing the computer war to one side so far that the game is over. And one of those things was the introduction of a new unexpected technological development. So now the UFOs represent exactly that, the potential for a new unexpected technological development. And in wargaming, we, having discovered that such a breakthrough always throws the advantage to the one who experienced the technological development. For instance, the stirrup for the French. At one time they won a war because they had stirrups and the English did not. This becomes a great danger to any potential enemy because he has to be concerned about what the nature of that is and how much it puts him at disadvantage. In that sense, it does become a national security problem because it offers serious implications to any potential enemy who must then do something about it. And anything he does is going to be an act of war.
Well, for many years, one of the reasons was the Cold War. We did not want the Soviets to know what we knew. And then later we found out that the Soviets knew pretty much about it as much as we did. The implications of the conclusions of the study were so astounding that the decision was made that they could not release this information because it would be terribly disruptive to the populations of Europe and the United States, actually to the populations of the world, that we were being surveyed by highly advanced, high-technology extraterrestrial cultures. One of the major conclusions was that one of those civilizations, the people looked exactly like we did. And that troubled the military people in SHAPE headquarters because it became quite apparent to them that these aliens could put on a suit and a tie or sport jacket, sit next to you in a restaurant, sit next to you on a bus, or walk up and down the corridors of SHAPE headquarters and you'd never know. That troubled the generals a lot.
At a conference in the Pentagon, the Central Intelligence Agency decided to pass, to quote verbally from the release protocols, a broad educational program integrating efforts of all concerned agencies with two major aims, training and debunking. The debunking aim would result in reduction of public interest in flying saucers. The armed forces received the order to collect and evaluate UFO reports and to release only misleading explanations to the public. According to Air Force Regulation 202 from August 26, 1953, it was explicitly prohibited to release UFO reports to the news media until the object is positively identified as a familiar object. And the Joint Chiefs of Staff Instruction JANIP 146 declared UFO sightings to merit reports containing information affecting the national defense within the espionage laws, prohibiting the unauthorized transmission or revelation in any manner under the penalty of up to 10 years imprisonment. Commander Bethune experienced the further handling of UFO reports.
To my knowledge, there was no thorough investigation made. When we landed at Argentia in Uflin, an Army intelligence officer, a captain, was sent to interrogate us. He interrogated us, and he made a report that I learned later was sent to Wright-Patterson. When we arrived at the Naval Air Station Test Center, Patuxent River, Maryland, outside of Washington, again we had Navy intelligence to interrogate us, and we had to write a description ourselves and a report. And of course that was submitted through channels to the Navy in Washington, which I later found out then went to the Air Force. So it was up to the Air Force pretty much, because of the different project, Grudge, Blue Book, or what have you, to do the investigation. They were accepting all the reports of any unusual objects that were seen by the military, to my knowledge.
Were you asked to be silent about this incident?
It was in a kind of a roundabout way. It was not really a warning. It was just the type of thing that we were pretty much told that not to talk about it. I mean, I got the impression that it was a type of thing that I probably wouldn't even talk to my wife about. I didn't know. So I would say that as far as the interrogation by the intelligence officers, that's kind of the impression that they left. I did have the Commodore who ran our air wing at the time call me in and for me to describe the sighting to him, and he pretty much led me to believe that it was the type of thing that I really shouldn't talk about, and not that they were trying to discredit anything they were doing, but it was just something that we should not talk about, really. And I don't ever recall them saying, ordering us not to say anything about it.